Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karashyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Ata pratamodhyayaha
Atha pratamodhyayaha
Dhritarashtra uvacha
Dhritarashtra uvacha
Karma kshetre kurukshetre
Dharmakshetre kurukshetre
Samaveta yuyutsavaha
Samaveta yuyutsavaha
Mamakav pandavaschaiva
Mamaka pandavaschaiva
Kimakurvata sanjaya.
Kimakurvata sanjaya.
The first shloka of the first chapter of the Gita, Vyasacharya presents through the mouth of Dhritarashtra, who was the king, the blind, the old man, the blind old man, the father of Duryodhana, sitting in the Astinapura, the palace, in his kingdom. Sanjaya by his side asked Sanjaya, what were my sons and the sons of Pandus who had assembled there with the desire to fight, where in Kurukshetra, which is called Dharmakshetra, what were they doing? It's a question. We saw this, we read up to the unknown factor called Deva. We saw this, Sanjaya, at the end he says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishnaha, Yatra Vartho Dhanurtaraha, Tatra She Vijayo Bhutihi, Travani Tirmathir Mama. This shloka occurs at the last chapter, 18th chapter. Sanjaya expresses this. Wherever the Lord is, wherever Arjuna is with his bow and the arrow, Bhagavan is there and the protector of the Dharma. Arjuna is there, then there will be victory. Where Arjuna is there, Arjuna will fight for Dharma. So where Dharma is, Bhagavan is. There will be victory. All glory. There will be the niti, the justice. Iti mama matihi. This is my mata, my view. Who says? Sanjaya says. So it means at the end of the 18th chapter itself, Sanjaya, before the war is over, he gives the result of war. That Pandavas are going to be victorious. Even though the war is continuing, this is only the 10th day of the war, another 8 days yet to go. But before that, Sanjaya says the result. Because he knows Bhagavan, Krishna, he himself is on the side of the Pandavas. And Arjuna fighting to establish Dharma. Dharmaha rakshati rakshitaha. Dharma will ultimately win. So therefore, the war will be in favor of the Pandavas. That he very clearly says. Now, we'll continue. We are reading from the paragraph unknown factor, Deva. Deva meaning unknown factor. It is not seen, unseen. That is called Deva. Deva means the Lord. That which comes from the Lord, not available for our perception. That is called Deva. That can be recognized, but not available for our immediate perception. The karma we do, the karma will have karma pala. The good karma will have punya karma, will have punya palam. Papa karma will have papa palam. And papa and punya when will be fructify, we don't know. That is called Devam. Every karma, every action has got two results. Adrishtapalam, Adrishtapalam. Adrishtapalam is what is available for our perception. Adrishtam is unseen result is called Adrishtam. Adrishtam is also another type of palam that we don't know when that palam will come. That Adrishta palam will be accrued to your account, will be in your karma account. When that karma will fructify, we don't know. That is why it's called Devam, unknown factor. That unknown factor determines the result of our karma. Which unknown factor will determine the which result of which karma, which result of karma, we don't know. It's all Devam, only Bhagavan knows. In spite of our effort, sometimes we fail. In spite of less effort, sometimes we get success. How do we attribute success or failure to the karma, a limited karma? How do we attribute that? That is Devam. We don't know. Even though we may think that we have exerted our full capacity, exerted to our full capacity in doing the karma, but the results may not be to the extent what we expected. Because there are unknown factors, Deva is not favorable. That is there, that has given the negative result or the result which is not to our expectation. Similarly, sometimes we get more than what we expected. It means some adrishta punya palam. Punya palam is there. Therefore, even though we have not put more effort, but we reap more results. That is also unknown, Deva. Some punya karma has helped in getting the result, getting the result which is more than expected, Deva. So that which is not known is called Deva. Therefore, only Puja Swamiji says we need to have a lot of punyam. We need to have a lot of punyam. Every day when we wake up, we don't know what karma, which karma, what we have done before will fructify. Deva, unknown. Make punya more in your account. Do more punya karma, have more punya in your account. So that can manifest in all our the actions. So that punya will manifest in all our actions favorably in favor to us. Less of papa, more of punya. And papam also can be nullified by prayaschitta karma. So therefore, one has to earn not only money, also punyam. Because papa and punya, these are deva, they account for the result of any karma. Now, in Arjuna's mind, this was very clear. What Arjuna knew that he had all the weapons and skill that he required. Arjuna has got all the weapons, Pashupata Astra and different Astram, different missiles he has got from different devatas. But one more factor is required. What factor? That is called Bhagavan, and that is Devam. Fortunately, with Arjuna, Bhagavan Krishna was there. Whereas for Duryodhana, the factor, Krishna factor is missing. Deva factor is missing. Even though he had big army, since the Deva factor was missing, therefore he lost the battle. Even though Arjuna had less number of people in his army, he won because Deva factor was there. Since this Deva factor determines the result, therefore only we say all the best of luck. Luck. What is luck? In English we call luck. But luck is also not just by chance. There's something in the world which happens by chance. Everything has got a karya karana. Cause effect is there. Nothing called luck. Luck also deva. Luck also can be translated as deva. Fortune is devam. Unfortunate, that is also devam. So even though Arjuna had all the weapons and skill he required, nevertheless, he also knew that he had to allow for one more thing. What is that? Unknown factor. That is Deva. That factor determines the result. This Arjuna knows. He's a learned person, man of Dharma. He knows that factor is required. Duryodhana carried over by the visible factors. But Arjuna, being very intelligent, takes into account the unknown factor also. Visible factors plus unknown factors. Mere visible factors will not determine the result. Unknown factor also should be considered. But Duryodhana did not consider. Arjuna considered. Even though Arjuna had less number of people, less number of Akshogini, but he compensated by adding Krishna factor, the Deva factor in his army. That resulted in the victory for the Pandavas. So therefore, Arjuna very intelligently he chose Krishna. That story we saw before. A dharmika, one who is committed to a life of dharma, appreciates his or her limitation and then takes one step beyond, recognizing that success is ultimately possible because of this unknown factor, Deva. Later in the Gita, Bhagavan himself talks about this. So every dharmika appreciates this factor of Deva. Purushartha is important, Prayatna is important. Equally, Prarthana also is important. That is why effort and prayer, they go together. Effort required, efforts which are visible, as much effort required or more effort we can exert. And equally, to tackle the unknown factors, prayers also required. So prayer and effort both determine the result of a karma. The result of a karma depends not only on effort but also on the prayer. That a dharmika, those who committed to life of dharma, Vaidika dharma, they accept. So Deva is a factor over which we have no control at all. A factor that makes a difference between success and failure, between victory and defeat. We often call this unknown factor luck, good luck, or bad luck. In all cultures, I suppose there are equivalents for these two words because people have to account for a factor that seems to work favorably or otherwise. Even an hard-boiled dialectical materialist has to miss a bus occasionally and constrained to say, I was unlucky. Catching the bus earlier than expected is also not an uncommon event. So the expression luck, good luck, bad luck is there in all the language. So therefore, the Deva factor is considered, is invariably considered by by people of all the cultures, all the all the cultures, all the people. It is considered, is accepted. That is why good luck, bad luck. The phrases are there. This unknown factor is viewed here as a divine factor, the unknown, invisible. That's called Adrishta, explained earlier in the introduction. It represents an order and is a law of karma, the law of dharma. The factor is not visible, but the results are reaped by us or seen very clearly. The results are Adrishta, whereas the causes are Adrishta. Sorry, the results are Adrishta, the causes are Adrishta. If the Adrishtam is Punyam, then the result is favorable. If Adrishtam is Papam, then the result is unfavorable. The Adrishta Punyam as well as Papam is also what you earned by your karma. That is also the result of karma. The result of some other karma. The result of some other karma becomes a factor deciding the result of the later karma, what you do. In which karma that result manifests, we cannot say. That is the law of karma, that is the order. That we cannot say. That is, Bhagavan only knows when the result will manifest. In which karma it will manifest, in which situation it will manifest, in which form it will manifest. That we cannot say. It all happens by the law. There's an order, happens by the order. That's what we call the law of karma. Qualities of a mature person. The one who doesn't leave Adrishta to the hands of chance. The one who does something to change the Adrishta is considered to be a Bhakta and is religiously mature. So what a Bhakta, what a religious person does is, he knows how to change or how to convert the Adrishta. If it is Papam, he knows. He doesn't know if it is Papam. He knows that unknown factor, whether it will be favorable or unfavorable, doesn't know what it may be. Assuming that it is not favorable, but he does certain thing to make that invisible also favorable. If it is favorable, there is no problem. If it is not favorable, then the result, expected result may not be accomplished. Therefore, the one who knows how to make it favorable, that is by being a bhakta, by offering prayers at the beginning of the activity, or while doing the activity, we always have devotion, we always have the attitude of prayer. So that takes care of the other stuff. A prayerful attitude, physical prayer at the beginning, and a prayerful attitude throughout the performance of the karma. That by that person is a matured person. By that he tackles this Adrishta, makes the Adrishta work in favor of it. We can call such a person a religious person, but I would refer to him or her as a matured person who recognizes unseen hands that shape and are behind these unknown hands. Such hands are not the hands of chance, they are the hands of law. Hands that are the law and that are looked upon as a Lord. The law is not separate from the Lord, and the builder of the laws is also the Lord. So that person, a religious person, somebody calls him as a matured person because he appreciates the unknown factor and the hands which work behind the unknown factor. And it is the law, the order of Bhagavan. So Bhagavan, it is Bhagavan alone who makes it happen. Therefore, he becomes a Bhakta. Bhagavan is the giver of the result. So by being a Bhakta, by becoming a Bhakta, so he makes the Adrishta work in favor of him. So therefore, that person is a religious person. You can call him as a religious person from the Vaidika standpoint, standpoint, you can call him as a religious person, but he's a matured person. He appreciates a factor, unknown factor called Deva. Therefore, matured person. Doesn't take any chance. Doesn't go by chance. Throughout the Gita, Krishna describes a person who recognizes this factor at the same time recognizes the necessity of his or own effort. As a mature person, a yogi, important. That's why prayer and prayatna and prayer both goes together. Reverse and obverse are the same coin. Both are equally required. Prayer and prarthana and prayatna. Prarthana and prayatna. So the one who applies or uses both intelligently, that person is a mature person, or otherwise called yogi. A mature person is one who has a fear of adharma, who tries to conform to dharma. Dharmaputra is 4 brothers, and his entire family underwent many privations for a long period of time only because of their commitment to dharma. They underwent a lot of trials and tribulations, Dharmaputra, Pandavas, and his family, because they are committed to dharma. And they are mature person, they know that they have to suffer for their own karma phala. For their own karma phala, they have to suffer, but they stick to dharma. So they appreciate dharma, they follow dharma. They know the results are because of one's own karma phala, therefore they go by dharma. They have fear of adharma and therefore conform to. Fear of adharma is adharma karma gives papa phala. Papa phala only comes in the form of difficulties in life. What Dharmaputra and his family suffered because of some karma, some papa karma. It has to be exhausted. To counter this, one cannot again do adharma. That will add up and that will further cause problem. And there will be no end to it. The person finally will be doomed. Therefore, they silently put up with the problem and they were committed to dharma. Having such a commitment, Arjuna naturally recognized his own prowess and believed in his skills. He had self-confidence and was a person who knew the importance of effort. He did not keep beseeching the Lord, please give me, give me. He knew that would not work. So Arjuna, who understand the importance of effort and also knows the Deva factor. So therefore, he rightly chose Bhagavan Krishna as his charioteer. As a he chose Krishna as a charioteer not to ask him, but his presence and his valuable advice he knew that would help him, that would be able to handle the Deva factor. Therefore, intelligently he chose Krishna. So he had talent and he is a man of effort and also is a man committed to dharma, rightly chose Bhagavan Krishna to be his side. So, and now that's why we say success is determined not only by the effort. Success is determined by also by this Deva factor. Effort is required, self-confidence, effort, everything. These are required. Skill, everything is required. And also the factor called Deva, important factor. If this factor missing, success will not be there. Even if there are lack in other factors, if Deva factor is there, then success would be possible. Success may be possible. Now, qualities for success. In order to be successful, 6 qualities are required. There's a Subhashitam, beautiful Subhashitam. Udyamam sagasam dhairyam buddhishakti parakramaha shadete yatra vartante tatra sahayakrit devaha tatra sahayakrit bhavati sahayam karot. Devaha is this unknown factor, Deva. That's what we call fortune favors the brave in English. That's the proverb. So Devaha Sakayakrit Yatra Shadete. These 6 factors are there. Vartante. Tatra Devaha Sakayakrit. Where these 6 factors are there, in whom these 6 factors are there, that person, for that person, this Deva factor will be favorable. What are the 6 factors? Udyamaha. Udyamaha is effort, and the effort also should be proper effort. It should be properly directed effort, not just physical effort. It should be intelligent effort. That's why Udyama. Sahasa, perseverance, not withdrawn because of failure. Perseverance, continuous effort. Perseverance, sahasa. Dhairyam, courage is required. Virya, courage, to be brave enough. Buddhi, knowledge. Shakti, Shakti is power or skill sets. Parakramaha, Parakramaha is the capacity to overcome obstacles. So obstacles may come, but he puts more effort. So therefore, these 6 factors are present in whom? That person, that Devaha Sakayakrit Bhavati. So Devaha, the unknown factor, will be Sakayakrit, will be supportive to that person. You may have courage and enthusiasm, but no proper effort at the right time. The time also important. Right effort, the right time. So no proper effort at the right time. On the other hand, you may have right effort, but no enthusiasm. You may also have a necessary enthusiasm to persevere, but if after some time you have not accomplished what you set out to accomplish, you may give up due to lack of courage. Therefore, all the factors are considered now. All the factors are important. These factors are present. Success is ensured because Deva factor will be in favor of that person. In warfare, that knowledge of logistics is very important. You need to know how to approach the enemy, how to enter the opponent's ranks, how to get out again. Skill and resources are required. Without resources, what is the use of planning? Such effort is useless. If something requires manpower, you must have that. If raw material or skill is required, you must have that also. Finally, you must have the capacity to tide you over an obstruction to be able to encounter and deal with forces that are inimical to you. So, Udyama, Sagasa, Dhairya, Shakti, Parakrama, all the factors are mentioned with regard to the war. So, therefore, you must be like a flowing river, unmindful of all obstructions. If a huge mountain is there, the river simply flows around it, it doesn't stop. If the obstruction is a simple rock, the river jumps over it. If it is a bigger rock, it simply goes around or swallows it and flows over it. If it comes to a valley, the river fills a valley first and then continues to be flowing. This is the nature of the river. Like it doesn't see an obstruction as an obstruction. For river, there is no obstruction. For river, there is no obstruction. It reaches a destination, water may be on the way. Even if these 6 qualities are present, we cannot say with any degree of certainty that the person will meet with success. The person has got all 6 qualities. Can we say that he will gain success? No. The Deva factor is important. There is still that unknown factor to be recognized called Deva, that extended helping hand to be sought. Dharmaputra and Arjuna recognized it. They did not go to the forest because they were afraid of Arjuna or of the fight. They went only to confirm the Dharma because they recognized Deva. They knew that you never get away with what you do. This is what is important. You never get away with what you do. Every karma, like a boomerang, will come to you in the form of karma pala. What they suffered is because of what the karma pala, what they did before. So therefore, they confirm to dharma, they recognize this factor of deva. So therefore, they were not afraid of fighting with Duryodhana. They want to stick to dharma. Therefore, they tried by all means to stop the Yuddha. Since it did not work, then only the war was announced. And the important unknown factor, the war, which determined success in favor of Pandavas is Krishna. It is Deva, unknown factor. But Arjuna, being a mature person, he recognized that factor. Arjuna, being a mature person, knew the necessity of recognizing the unknown factor, which was for him, which for him was Deva, Ishvara, the Lord. He recognized it in Krishna. That is important. That's why Arjuna is praised. Swamiji praises Arjuna very much because highly matured person who intelligently had Krishna on his side because he recognized this factor called Deva and Bhagavan is there. Krishna was there and he told Arjuna he was available. Arjuna recognized him as a grace in flesh and blood. Grace doesn't fight. It is not a weapon. And Krishna also told that he will not lift weapon if he is chosen. Either he or the army. Krishna is not a weapon. So his grace embodied. So therefore, Krishna will not fight. It's not a weapon, a bow or arrow, a place or time. It is something that is not visible. Here, however, the grace was visible in the form of Krishna, with hands and legs, always wearing a smile as though he knew nothing. This was Krishna, and for Arjuna, mere Krishna was enough. One can always fight if one has to. The six qualities required for success. One can take care of the obstructions. However, the seventh factor is in Bhagavan, the Lord. So six known factors, with the six known factors and recognizing the seventh factor called Deva, one can definitely accomplish the desired end. So Arjuna recognized this factor in the Lord and he knew it made the difference between the victory and defeat. He wanted only grace. So that's why the Prarthana also should be for grace of the Lord. Grace is important. It's all grace. Which is what you once I told. Just he said grace. Everything is grace. Everything is Ishvara Anugrah. To get a guru is a grace. To be with the guru is a grace. To study without any obstruction is a grace. And to continue the life of the sadhaka, achieve the end with grace. Everything is grace. Therefore, he wanted Krishna. Who wanted? Arjuna wanted Krishna with him. Whereas Duryodhana, he viewed things differently. He was happy with the outcome and thought Arjuna was an idiot because Duryodhana's belief was only in strength. He recognized only the visible factor, failed to recognize the invisible factor, Deva factor. Because he knew that strength required effort, he was a great believer in effort, which was why he went to Krishna to seek his help. Duryodhana was a man of great effort, but and had planned well for this day. He was continually scheming. He saw to it that Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Jayadratha, and the others felt obliged to him only because he felt they were important to his strength. Naturally, then, Duryodhana believed only the strength of Krishna's army, not in Krishna's days. In addition, he got the army he wanted. Thus, Duryodhana and Arjuna both equally felt victorious. What a proposition! Because they were two such different people, they could both be happy with the outcome. No judgment would make both the affected parties feel victorious. But here, Duryodhana thought he was a victor, and so did Arjuna also. How could this be? That is because these two men had two types of different thinking, two different commitments, and two different attitudes. Arjuna was happy that Krishna would be with him, and Duryodhana was happy that Krishna's army would be with him. Thus, they represented two forces. Two forces. Arjuna represented the force appreciating the Deva factor. Duryodhana represented Deva as well as the strength both. Whereas Duryodhana, the force, he recognized only the strength factor, failed to recognize the Deva factor. So, therefore, when they come to Krishna, both were given what they asked for. Both felt happy. Now, Krishna then was going to be with the Pandavas. Where would he be during the war? Arjuna wanted him to be nearby, but where would he put him? His chariot had only two seats, one at the back for himself, other in front for his driver. Given the arrangement, Arjuna could not ask Krishna to sit beside him. However, a double-seater could have been arranged. When you are preparing for a war, it doesn't take much time to create a new chariot with the two back seats. But if Krishna were to sit on the side, on the other side of Arjuna, how could Arjuna draw inspiration from Krishna during the battle? As soon as he turned his head towards Krishna, he could lose a battle. Now this somebody says jokingly, the chariot will have only two seats, only two people. One is the charioteer, other one is the master of the chariot. So Arjuna chose Krishna to be his charioteer. Arjuna's opponents were Bhishma, Drona, and Karna, and among others, none of whom was a mediocre fighter. All are Shuraha. One blink of the eye, and Arjuna would be opening his eyes in heaven. Because his opponents were not ordinary men. Arjuna knew that the only way to win the war was to keep Krishna in mind and fight, which meant that Krishna would have to be in front of him. Therefore, he asked Krishna to be his charioteer. He said, "You told me you would not fight. However, driving a chariot is not fighting. Will you drive my chariot, Krishna?" Krishna agreed, thinking it would be fun to see the show. He would have a front row seat, so to speak. Then Krishna becomes the charioteer of Arjuna. That we will read the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha.